They do have talent on that Ole Miss defense, make no mistake. Clearly, it didn't really matter last year. They were so god awful. But with so many of those guys back, with the coaching staff intact, the continuity returning, with the experience returning for that Ole Miss defense, you got to assume they're going to get better. But according to Lane Kiffin, I mean, my God, the guy could barely hold up his head here in his most recent press conference. Asked about most recent scrimmage there at the first scrimmage of training camp in Oxford, and he was very disappointed in his defense. So let's kick it over to Kiffin.
Lane, I know you've had little time to assess the situation, but just your kind of off-the-cuff feelings about what you watched this morning.
You're right, obviously. We just walked off. Haven't watched the film, but, impressed with the first offense, running and passing. Not impressed with the defense. So, it always happens when you're scrimmaging yourself. If one side does good, you walk off saying, okay, well, are we good or on that side, or are we bad on the other side? So, we'll go watch the film. We played a lot of players today, 1s, 2s, 3s, a lot of reps for new guys. So hopefully we'll learn some stuff off this film.
And like you said, you haven't had time to really look at, assess the whole situation. But was there anything that kind of stuck out defensively that was problematic?
Yeah, poor tackling. You make excuses and say first scrimmage, but still got to tackle. We worked on it yesterday. Came out and didn't tackle very well. And, which is discouraging because, we had a number of receivers that, were banged up. So they were playing but weren't able to be tackled. So a lot of it was just the running backs. And, 1s, 2s, and 3s missed tackles between the linebackers and the secondary. So a lot to learn.
Obviously, there were a lot of rotating bodies and whatnot, but it looked like there were kind of 3 series of top offense versus the top defense, and the defense looked like it had a little bit of success there. Would you say that was accurate, at least on that front?
Yeah, I thought in the second half, defense did a little bit better. Now the second half was not tackle, so that helps. But it did seem better. It was very frustrating first quarter. Defensively, especially to give up explosive plays like we did.
Lane, can you just give us an overall assessment of 1 week of fall camp? Are you where you thought you'd be, where you want to be?
I think the concern is what happened today, with the offense looking really good and the defense not. And, again, it's good and bad. You don't know. You're playing yourself. So it's a little frustrating on the defensive side, but you never know. This time a year ago in the fall scrimmages, we couldn't make a first down with our first offense with Elijah, and our defense stopped our offense all the time. So, and then I guess for some interview in their interview, he said we're the only team in America to give up 40 and score 40, as an average last season. So we obviously want to fix that.
So this is not me cherry-picking comments here. This was not a very long press conference, but essentially I'd say about 75% of it was dedicated to his disappointment in his defense. So something's got to give. But, of course, as Kiffin notes, maybe they've got the best offense in the nation. I mean, I don't think that is going to be a stretch to look into what Ole Miss did last year, what they bring back. I know Elijah Moore and Royce Newman off to the NFL, but beyond those two, I mean, everybody's back, and they landed Jalen Knox from Missouri, the transfer. So, I mean, they are going to be loaded on that side of the ball. But, this is cause for concern a little bit here with Kiffin dogging his defense here. But I will say maybe he's got a little bit of, really good poker face, because I remember this time last year, he was basically beside himself saying, I don't know how we're going to compete. I don't even know how we're going to field a team. I was so down on Ole Miss based on a lot of the comments Kiffin had shared during the offseason leading up to his first season there in Oxford, and we all know what happened. I mean, they were lights out on that offensive side of the ball from the get-go. So again, and you don't never read too much into one scrimmage. Maybe the defense. I think more than anything, what this tells me is, maybe what Lakia Henry. Not saying that Ole Miss was going to have the best defense in the SEC, but maybe they were impressing in practice leading up to this scrimmage, setting the expectations much higher for Kiffin and company, and then here they drop an egg in scrimmage. I think that's probably what we're getting here, and that's probably why Kiffin was so disappointed in the performance of his defense.